Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Don here. I'm going to share a few things with you guys, kind of what worked and what didn't work this last week. What worked is we're having more and more people download this tech list, and today I'm going to talk about something else that's called Gatekeeper. I just changed it here. We had a webinar in the office. I'm going to go over some of the good and the bad and the ugly of that. I did my first video delegation. It's a worksheet that I went through, and I want to kind of share that with you. The video was completed. More of the editing, which is kind of a pain for me. I don't like to do, so it might be something you want to consider. And then a QR code review. And then there was an interview right here on growing your practice. What didn't work was value per room. This is something that kind of threw me for a little loop with just some knowledge that I didn't know. I'm going to start with the bad stuff. So I was talking to another doctor, and he's part of another mastermind, and it's a concept I never even thought of before. But he evaluates his practice in terms of how much each treatment room. So, for example, we have 6 treatment rooms. How much each of those rooms can produce in a year, and I think he gave me a number like $225,000 should be the production of each room in his office or something like that. And I kind of like that idea. It's just something that's foreign to me in terms of that level of tracking, but I really like that idea. It's something I think to learn more about. And I know there's different groups that look into that. I'm really impressed with the work that they're doing. And I think this is with the FABI group and some of these other groups. So kudos to that. It's something that puts me in a vulnerable spot because I've never even heard of it. And so there's always areas to learn, no matter where you're at. If you look into a different scope, there's more to learn. So I always like to start with the stuff that didn't work and stuff that isn't comfortable for me. Something that is working for me in the tech list, if you haven't downloaded it, you can go there. I'll put the link underneath this video. But it's this thing. This is my, I call it my salvation. It's called the Gatekeeper. It's, I don't know, 150. Doesn't matter how much it is, 150 or something like that. You hook it up to all your computers, spend some time organizing it, and then you don't have to type in your password. Now, I leave one computer where I still need to type my password so I don't forget. So the story behind this is we tried a number of different companies. This is the second time we're trying this one because it was a pain as we're logging into our computers. You know how many times a day, if you're seeing 30 patients, different computers, things like that, it's a pain. And then forgetting them and then going to 2 different offices. But this I can bring from office to office. We have this little dongle that we insert into the computer via USB, and it works great. Once again, I don't make anything. I wish I did from them, but it's just a great tip. There are other ways of doing it. Certain people use like these cards at the hospital. We looked at that system. It was a lot more expensive, but Gatekeeper was super cheap. So I wanted to share that with you. If you want to get all my little tech stuff, you can download that in that tech list. We had our webinar. So here's an example of our webinar. It's called you can just see my face, which isn't all that impressive, but all about foot and ankle arthritis. Post webinar, 105 views. This is kind of my stuff I offer afterwards. And basically, if we kind of scroll through it, I can show you here. Started out, my partner, he did a portion. He recorded it because he wasn't able to be present, so we did that. I'll show you some of my mess ups. You can see here on some of these. You can see like the bar up here for Zoom. So it's not perfect. And then we talked about shoes, reducing flexibility. We talked about some physical therapy. We talked about arthritic changes, AFOs. Then we talk about surgical repair. And so some arthroscopy and things like that, arthroscopy. And then we had a kind of a cool thing. We had like 13 questions, which is great. So when we organized it, they could ask their questions, which I think was the key. They can ask their questions and we answered them. And at the end, we had a little call to action that they could make an appointment for us. But if you see here, there's errors. Like there's errors with this because you can see like the 53 people here. You can see, the things like that, but it's done. Better done than perfect. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'll put a little link to one I did on my YouTube, but then I also put it on our office YouTube. And the difference is the office one, I edited it and I put like scrubbers up here to hide this stuff and, hide people's names and stuff like that. So that's how I wanted to share that. So the good, bad, and the ugly, well, it's getting easier to do. It's like the 6th or 7th we've done. Patients seem to like it. We had about, I think, 70 people that signed up. I sent it to you guys at the end when we had a few spots open. Even though it says only 100, I always leave a leeway of like 130. And then I also send it out to people afterwards in an email. So if you did sign up, you would get a link to it, a link to our blog. So then afterwards, where I'm placing it is actually in our blog. So if you go to centralmasspodiatry.com and then on our blog, you can actually see this is where I do all the communication. So it pushes everyone back to the website. I try not to do it all through YouTube. So I push them here. And prior to it, I put the code that they could sign up here. But then afterwards, I put the video replay, and then we can give this to our patients afterwards. So that was a win. I really struggled with videos. And one of the big challenges with videos is learning how to do the editing. I don't like to do the editing of the videos. And so that's been a kind of a bottleneck for me. I can make the videos really easy, like I make this one, but they're really not that cool. And so I wanted to figure out a better way of doing it, because I have some other friends that do a lot of these, and they increase their revenue, and it actually makes it more interesting to see. So I tried to do this. And the way I did this was with a video delegation worksheet. So I want to walk you guys through that. And then the video is done, and I'll put a link underneath it if you want to watch it. It's not perfect, but once again, it's done. So this is an example of a video delegation worksheet. It's called a fast filter. Okay. So this is something that we learn about in that coaching program that I'm in, and I'm trying to open it up here. So what you do here is you actually put the purpose of the project, what's the best result, what's the worst result, and what are the success criteria. And this is actually filled out by someone when I was talking to them over Zoom, right? So they did this. This is a person that's helping me out. So basically the best result is I want to do weekly videos that are engaging and capturing people's attention, great calls to action. They're multi-purposed. They're used across multiple platforms. The editor brings natural creativity, adding stock images, highlighting phrases, and they need little direction from me. We work together. Asynchronous communication is important, and create videos that I'm proud of. The worst result would be Don feels like he would never use the videos. The project becomes high cost with little value or return. The editor relies too much on back and forth communication with Don and requires many revisions. Don isn't happy with videos. So this is something it's good to do, because a lot of times we know what we want done. We just have a hard time communicating that. So this is how I use this worksheet. And then basically we took the best result, and we put it into the success criteria. So basically the weekly budget's $20 a week on Fiverr. All communications done via Fiverr, and we have a clear process. I record and upload stuff on Mondays. I verbalize instructions at the end of the video, and the editor edits, and I review it, and they send it to me by Friday. At the end of the video, I'll have a call to action with specific resources like my books and things like that. And I'll provide them with links and PDFs and things like that. The final video is high quality, can be used across multiple platforms like the blog, my membership site, YouTube. And the images, video clips, and phrases, they'll pick those out, and I'll give you some of those phrases if they ask me. So this is what I used, okay? And the YouTube, the video this time was, I'm taking off the audio. You can watch it later if you want. But I said, help, my feet got bigger during the pandemic. And in this, they added all these stock images. They added these wordings. Now, they did spell some things wrong in the beginning, and I had to go back and edit that. And I actually had my wife look at it, because she's more detailed with those things. And so we talk about these things about people's feet getting bigger. Anyway, this then I can send out in my next newsletter to my patients. And that's kind of how it works. So you guys can watch it if you want to watch the whole thing. The reason it's smaller here is because I did it on Zoom, and the quality wasn't all that good. Kind of the cool thing at the end is I did talk to people about my shoe buying guide. So it talks about that. And it offers them the foot treatment toolkit and the shoe buying guide here as well. And they had these cool like movements and things like that. So it was about $20, or they always ask for more on Fiverr, just so you know. So I do it for 20, and hey, can you give $10 more or something like that? So that was that. The video was done. And then the last thing I want to go over with you guys is called this QR code review. As I was talking, there was a previous interview a couple weeks ago with Matt from Evans on the Common, and I gave him this idea, and then I kind of stole the idea and actually made a couple, and I gave them to him. I made this via, what was it? I made this via, I forgot. I think it was Canva. I made it on Canva, and then I gave it to the shoe store, and I just copied it and made it for me, and I made it for a couple of other people. It's pretty easy to do. And I actually did a podcast talking about this, but basically it's a thank you for choosing us. Give us an online review now and get a free gift. What do we give them? Well, we give them a shoehorn, a bottle opener that I thought was a keychain. It is a keychain, but it's a bottle opener. You can get a pair of socks or a shoe. I think those are the things I give them if they want it. So they get the free gift and the scan a QR code. Now this is only for Google reviews. So if they don't have Google, they can't do it. Okay. If you guys want all of these instructions and how I did this, it's actually in the 30-day practice blueprint under the bonus section. I kind of go into detail. And so basically every patient that checks out, actually this will be on the back door of all the treatment rooms. So when they're in there, they can do it, give a review, and they say, hey, we did a review, and we'll give them a free gift. So it's a way to multiply these. It's just another method of giving reviews. And then finally, I interviewed this gentleman, Daniel, and I'll put a link to the interview about how to grow your practice with LinkedIn. He gives some interesting ideas. The best one I got from him was when we interact with people, it's better not to do something like every day, like Facebook looking at it. It's like looking at it maybe for a half hour once a week, doing all your communication there, and like liking things what other people are doing. I kind of find that uncomfortable, but I'm trying to do that more. And then taking people, getting their contact, and then connecting with them via email afterwards. That's the key, is taking them off LinkedIn onto your email and then getting to know them better. So once again, I hope you guys find this helpful. Please comment below what your ideas are. If you want to get any other information from me, please schedule a strategy session with me. Okay, thanks guys.